Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. This is Season 31, War 11, and this was a frustrating one for me. That's why it's going to be a little bit short. I ended up taking some fights and not recording them because I was a little bit on tilt, and you'll understand why in a second. So I'm taking this Green Goblin here with Dr. Doom, and long story short, this fight was not originally assigned to me. Somehow it got a little bit overlooked in our planning, and we didn't really have anybody that felt comfortable with it, and so I got assigned with Dr. Doom here. And again, that's just not a position you ever want to be in going into a fight, feeling like I'm not prepared for this, but we're going to go in here and try to do our best. But really tough matchup. You're going in against a champion with high ground. Dr. Doom feeds high ground with his shocks. On top of that, Green Goblin has resistance to I guess not resistance, but he limits the amount of power you get back, so Dr. Doom isn't getting the full amount of power that he should on his drain. On top of that, with kinetic transference, it's really hard to stay aggressive and keep the stagger up. There's definitely a few things I could have done better in this fight. I could have tried to reparry a little bit less, try to keep stagger up a little bit more aggressively, but essentially this fight feels to me like it's pretty much over the second he gets his first SP1 off that allows him to go unstoppable. Again, I try there to throw the SP1 to get some nullifies and just try to be able to stay aggressive and keep my combo up, but here he's going to go into this loop of SP1s, and again, I'm just trying to throw this off, keep my combo up, maybe limit the high ground a little bit, get stagger up. Again, trying to play as aggressively and as, as competently as possible here in this fight, but eventually he just starts throwing off his SP1s, and I mean, you'll see what high ground does to our champion. And look at that, that's crazy. And he's just looping him now. Took like 15,000 damage there from high ground. Yeah, so I was very frustrated after this fight, and yeah, what are our takeaways here? I mean, I want to be very careful here. I'm not putting our planner on blast. Planning an entire BG of war is a huge responsibility, and no one person can do it alone. I think I could have taken some responsibility and said, hey, looking over this battle plan a little bit more carefully, I feel like we're missing something for this fight. Probably would have sent Magic there, or Spider 2099 with anti-venom synergy. So just have to help out our battle planner and take responsibility as an entire battle group to make sure fights don't get overlooked. So eventually I did calm down. I finished up my path 4, a couple fights there that weren't really too hard, and have a couple Mr. Negative fights here to close out the war. Again, only three fights that I ended up actually recording. And again, another takeaway here is don't fight on tilt. I was upset, and yeah, went and played some fights unrecorded, and in general you want to have a record of your fights so you can learn from them and do better. So I wouldn't recommend doing that, but we're going in here. Mr. Negative, one of my favorite champions in the whole game, really feel pretty confident with him in war. You see him make a small mistake there and take some hits when the ebb and flow intercept expires, but that's okay. We're going to SP3 here because he can't shrug off the damage from this. It's going to do a really big chunk of damage. You're going to see he's at 77%, and you'll watch the degen tick afterwards. It's pretty satisfying. But so I feel really great about this fight at this point. He takes a massive chunk of damage down to 30%, but Sassy is a beefy lad, and so still got some work to do here. I know he's going to go into Wrath of Tanorak soon. There it is. And so I charge heavy here. I should have gone in here. That's a big mistake, because now I basically eliminate my spacing, and I'm playing in the corner. So I'm using an evade counter, trying to create some space, and here I'm going to throw off the special just to get off the wall. This slows down the fight quite a bit, because really I just wanted to build to another SP3 and nuke the rest of them down, but that's okay. We get off the wall. Pretty good corner play just to not take a hit, and so now we have control of the fight. We have better spacing, keep hitting into his block, keep creating space, and again just go back in off that and try to build to an SP3. So again, Mr. Negative, great counter to this node. I've taken a Dormammu here, I think, and Sassy is definitely more beefy than Dormammu, but again, if you play competently with Mr. Negative here, It's a really good matchup, and you shouldn't have any problems. But we're going to go in here, basically just build to SP3 and finish him off with the cinematic finisher. While we're watching that play out, talk a little bit about the war. So again, this war we lost, putting us kind of right at the top of Plat 1, which is not where we want to be. We want to be in Masters this season, so we have one more war to try to get it done. It's going to be pretty close. And again, just need to focus up as a battle group, focus up as an alliance, and just play the way we know how. Every fight is winnable if you play with the right matchup and the right game plan. So, like I said, there's no point putting anyone on blast in a war. People die, and maybe it's you, maybe it's not you. In this case, I did die, and that's on me at the end of the day, even if the matchup was bad, because that could have been something I caught beforehand. So just have to sharpen up, and here you'll see the boss has gone down. No high ground. I have taken this fight with high ground before, but we're just gonna take this Sorcerer Supreme to kind of finish out the war. And again, really fun, easy fight with Mr. Negative. We're gonna go in here, leave myself wide open, so she throws this special 2. We're just trying to build up some dark charges, and then we're going to throw off a big SP2 and kind of finish this thing out. So come in here, take a blocked hit, straight into the evade counter, throw the SP2 with 10 plus dark energy, gets us the 2 petrifies, really limit her power. Again, leaving myself wide open, make her throw the SP2. And now we're just going to finish this out with some combos and some damage from the degen. So, or I guess some damage from dark energy here in a little bit. But very easy fight with Mr. Negative. Ideally, you would have a Mr. Fantastic pre-fight at the start just to make it a little bit safer, and you'd also probably go with an invuln boost instead of a power start 1. But without high ground, I felt really good about this fight, and we're going to close it out. So 3 fights recorded. I did have 4 other fights, so 7 fights in total. Obviously died once to that green goblin, and yeah, lost the war. But here's our stats on the season. That death frustrated me a little bit, but even in frustrating circumstances, you just have to turn around and try to go back out in the next one and finish the season strong. 54-2 on the season, and yeah, just ready to go out there in War 12 today and try to turn things around, get back on the winning track, and lock up Masters. It's do or die at this point, and I'm ready for it. So appreciate you guys stopping by the channel. I know this one had a bit of a different vibe, and I was a little frustrated, but I hope you enjoyed it and learned something nonetheless, and I will catch you guys in the next one. As always, smash that like, lol, and subscribe if you feel like it, and I will see you in the next one. Later.